going to start the recording now. So it potentially might, I don't know, it might be a short webinar tonight. I don't really know, actually, because I prepare for them, but, you know, we never know how it's quite going to work out. Mm-hmm. So it just dawned on me that, well, I've been listening to Tom Barrett in the car, and he does the Communication Guys, and they do a podcast. If anybody wants to download it or anything like that, feel free to do that. But he comes up with some really interesting questions. And one of the questions he posed is, do we know what business we're in? Which made me also think about, what do we say when people say, what do you do? Hi, Michelle. Glad to hear you're okay, by the way. So Michelle's was kind of in arms not so long ago. So yes, so with Tom Barrett, so he asked the question about, you know, do we know what business we're in? But as I say, what it did was it made me think about, you know, when somebody just says to you, and it could be that you started the conversation, or you're at a party, or whatever it might be, then somebody might say, so what do you do? Now, what can happen is that people, and I know Sonia's here because there's two of me on the call. But hi, Sonia.
Yes.
So it made me think that the number of times when I've been asked that question, and when somebody asks me that question, I go, because it's kind of like, I almost go, oh, I've got to answer that question again, and I don't know how to do it because I can't explain the business in like 2 sentences, and I've got to really say something that will pull this person in, so they want to know, oh, hi Faz, who will want to, who wants them want to know more. And I don't know if anybody else feels the same way. When does anybody? Oh yeah, Sapida. Thank you so much, Sapida. I'm glad you feel that way, because it's really interesting, isn't it? So I have had a tendency to, so the sort of responses I've given when people say, what do I do? And I go, and then I think about what I'm going to say. And I still, well, I'm a professional networker. And they kind of go, great, whatever. Or I might go, oh, well, I promote aloe vera products, and, you know, and they go, oh, hi Julia, we started. But there's all sorts of responses I've given. So I won't go into all the responses because we would be here all night, because some of my responses have taken quite some time, because I've decided to regale them with everything I know about Forever Living, about the products, how wonderful they are, how amazing this business is. And as they go and start to snore off in the corner, then I realise that maybe I've not had it the right way. So there's some of you giggling, and I know that this has happened to you as well. So my next thing is going to completely blow your mind, because what I'm going to say is when somebody says to you, what do? You have to bear in mind the person you're talking to. So let's say, for instance, so Sonia's on the call, and I know a lot of you know Sonia. So let's say Sonia, I've been in conversation with Sonia. Oh, and Julia's waving too, I know. There's lots of, yeah. But let's say, so Sonia's on the call, and I know a little bit about her because we've been chatting, let's say. Maybe I've just met her, but I know she's got kids. I know she leads a very busy life. And what else would I have found out about her? And I might have found out that, that, you know, she wanted to do something else. What I may well have done in the past, Sonia, and apologies if I have done this to you or to somebody in the same ilk as you, if I'd found that out, I probably would have leapt in when they said, oh, what do you do? Well, you'll never guess what. Oh, well, it's amazing what I do, because what I can do is I can help you earn some extra money, and it means that, you know, you can look after the kids, and I know your life's busy, but, you know, you can be even busier, and you can do forever, and it'll be brilliant because you can use the product, and you just kind of go off on one. And what I want us to remember is that what we're trying to do is we're trying to build relationships with people. So really, in that instance, what I really need to keep at the back of my mind the whole time is how can I continue the conversation with Sonia maybe at a later date? So I know you go sailing, Julia. I don't know if you also go fishing. Sorry, this is me fishing, by the way. This is my fishing action. Because what I want you to do is I want you to think about throwing out the line and reeling it back in again, and then throwing it about and reeling it back in until they actually take a nibble. But if you can imagine me going back to the conversation with Sonia, what I want to be doing in that first conversation, if it's the first conversation I've had with her, whether I know her or not actually, is I want to kind of throw a line out and see whether she takes a nibble on it. So what I would do now, so let's say Sonia's saying to me all those things that I've just mentioned, that she's a busy mum, she wants to do something else, time is short. I would kind of make comments as she, well, actually, Sonia, can you put your mic on so we can hear you?
Is it on?
Oh, it's on. It's even better. So I'm not asked you to do this, so let's kind of pretend that we bumped into each other and I know you vaguely, let's say, okay? So I'm not going to say that I know you really well. I go, oh, Sonia, how are you? I haven't seen you for ages. How's things?
Oh, good, thanks. Yeah, we're all right. Tired, but okay.
Oh dear. So you're not sleeping well of a night, or are the kids keeping you up?
Oh, yeah. Kids, of course.
I know what that's like, I must admit, although I have to say mine's grown up now, so he keeps me awake for in different ways now. So what's the problem with it? Are they just like being active kids, or yeah?
I never sleep, Caroline. My kids never sleep. There's got two of them in bed with me still.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Gosh, do you know, I remember, I just remember the time when my husband used to go away and Patrick used to come in with me. And I don't know if you get that, you know, when they're lying there and like at 3 o'clock in the morning, you suddenly get slapped in the face. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like this. So it's not really helping with your sleep as well. So I suppose you don't really get much time to yourself, do you, really, by the sounds of it?
No, never do. But I don't sit still anyway. I can't stand not doing anything.
No, you're a bit like me, really. You're a kind of a doer rather than a sitter, really, by the sounds of it. So have you been on holiday at all this year, or been anywhere nice?
Yeah, went down to Southampton. I'd love to go overseas more, but it stresses me out with this, so I need more sunshine.
Well, we've had a nice lot this year, haven't we? So you've probably been all right.
People keep saying that, and I'm like, 9 weeks done.
It's really difficult, isn't it? It's really difficult, though, isn't it, when you kind of feel like we had it and then we had it for such a long time and it goes and stuff like that. But so travelling. So where would you like to go to?
Oh God, I'd go anywhere that's warm. I don't want to go anywhere though it's raining, so I'd go absolutely anywhere. I would go like that.
Right. Oh well, that's amazing. So I'm trying to think about all those warm places. I know we went to Grenada a few years ago actually, and that was really lovely. That was lovely. I don't remember it being humid either. So
where even is that?
It's a long way.
The Caribbean.
I do know where it is. Yeah, it's near Trinidad and Tobago. Kind of hop off on Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, I lived there for a while. It was fab.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just having this conversation with her by myself, by the way. Nobody else is there. So no. So anyway, so you like you're in a hurry, but do you know, it'd be lovely if we could catch up for a coffee. And I was just wondering, is there any chance I could pick your brains about something?
Oh yeah, sure. What's up? You okay?
Yeah, no, absolutely fine. It's just that as you've been talking, you kind of, as Porro says, you've got those like tiny little grey cells of mine going, and I just didn't know if you could help me, because I'm thinking that you probably know people that I might like to speak to. So I just didn't know if you were up for coffee. I'm not even sure I've got your telephone number in my mobile. Can I? I don't.
I'll grab it and I'll tell you.
Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, okay. So I don't know when's a good time to meet. Is it during the day or is it
mornings? Give me a shout. Message me when I get, and I'll check my diary.
Okay. Because I think I might be free Thursday or Friday morning this week. But it'd be great to have a coffee. I'll tell you a bit more about what I do and what I could do with your help with. But yeah, I'll give you a buzz, I'll text you, and we'll sort that out then.
Yeah, thanks, Caroline. See you later.
Okay, cheers. Right. So Sonia didn't know I was going to do that. And I kind of did it on the spur of the moment, because I actually think if we can do kind of role play sometimes, it kind of explains it. Now, I know at no point did she say, what do you do, which is what I got into a conversation with. No, don't worry. You said, what's it about?
Yeah.
And I didn't really answer that. I actually can't remember what I said, because when you're in a conversation, you're so concentrated on. But what I wanted to really demonstrate there was that I didn't leap on the fact that she wants to travel, that the kids keep her awake at night, because I could have said, oh, God, he's amazing. I didn't. What I want to do is I want to continue the conversation. And I want to continue the conversation. So I'm not a leaper honour, if that makes sense. Somebody, Faz, could you put your on silent? The only one I can
do mine.
Or is it you? Yeah. It's, I can just see some that if you, yeah, because it's feedback. I don't know why we get feedback sometimes, but we do. But really what I'm trying to demonstrate is that we shouldn't always be leaping on someone. Now, if somebody's, for want of a better expression, gagging to have a conversation with you there and then, again, consider whether you are ready to have that conversation with them there or then. Because I have on occasions said to somebody, right, well, if you do want to, I have got 15 minutes now, if you want to sit down and have a quick cup of coffee, and I can explain a bit more about what I do. But I do it because they're really asking me to do that. Because again, what Tom Barrett's talking about is he would rather we had 5 or 6 conversations that led to somewhere when somebody was ready to have that conversation, rather than try and have that conversation on the first contact, just so that we can say, I've contacted somebody. Because in many ways, it's about timing as much as anywhere else. However, what we mustn't do as well is try and use that as an excuse. Oh, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting until they're ready. I'm just waiting until, so what it needs us to do is to just be ourselves, which isn't the easiest of things. I don't think it's easy to be ourselves, because what it is we have this agenda at the back of our heads, and our agenda is, I need to get you around that cycle. So you're on my Who Do You Know list. I'm having a chat with you now. I've asked you for a coffee. I really need to get a one-to-one booked in with you so that I can bring you around to the BP. But actually, what it is when we're doing that, it's the right hand side. I don't know if it shows us the right hand side when I'm doing it, because it's in mirror image. But if you can imagine the cycle, I have literally spoken to somebody on a Monday for the first time. Sorry, on a Thursday for the very first time, and they responded to an advert, and they joined on the Monday. I have equally spoken to a really good friend of mine, and we literally did a series of one-to-ones over a 5-year period, and she joined my business after 5 years. She was a customer for that 5-year period, and then she joined my business. Now, she was our bridesmaid, so she was somebody that we knew really well, because it's not about our timing, it's about their timing. Now, I don't know who's listened to Lisa Williams from the QLS Claire. If you get an opportunity to listen into that, it's really interesting, because she talks about how she went back to all the people she'd contacted and recontacted them. And actually, I don't have the figures in front of me, I apologise, but you can look. But what was interesting was quite a few people gone to her, but she basically on the back of it, she sponsored 7 people. And again, she contacted over 400 people. It was an amazing figure. But what it is for me, it was a demonstration of, there were 7 people that were ready to join her business out of that really large number. And our problem is what we do is we contact 7 people and we keep talking to them in the hope that those 7 people will be the 7 people that join our business, like Lisa Williams did. But she had to contact a lot more to get those 7. And what we do is we work in too small a pool in actually doing that. So, but let's go back to, what do you say when people say, what do you do? So let's say Sonia did say, what do you do in that conversation? I would have said, do you know what, Sonia? I help mums like you and me actually be a mum and earn that extra income. So do you know what? We can travel when we want to. Now, do you think she might have been a bit more interested in hearing from me if I'd said that? Do you think she'd have been interested if I said to her, well, Sonia, what I do is I coach and develop people to earn an extra income so that they can get a pension? I'm not so sure she would. She didn't mention pension at all. So what I'm trying to say is it's really important to have those conversations that we have every day. You know, how's the family? How's your job going? You know, have you got much time to yourself? And I know that's the FOR of forming, but you know what? That's what we do in life. We have forming conversations with people. And sometimes the message at the end is, do you fancy going for a coffee, or do you fancy, coming around for a bit of supper, or I don't know, going out for a drink one evening? That's the message. It's just that our message is different at the end. So we have forming conversations every day, but we get stumped when somebody says, what do we do? But what we need to do is relate that to the person that we're speaking to. So who else is on? Julia, you're on. I can see you. I'm sure there's other people as well. I think we've got we've got so many people on tonight that there's a little arrow and I can't see who else is on. So Julia, we've just bumped into each other in the street. So if we can go with the flow. Yeah. So again, oh, Julia, how are you? I haven't seen you for ages.
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
So what are you up to?
What am I up to? Well, I'm at work at the moment. You know, I've got this job and just trying to fit everything in, really.
So you say your new job, so you're still in recruitment, or have you changed?
Yeah. So as you know, life's changed a bit recently. So I've got a new house, new job.
Oh, wow.
Looking after my dog. And so I'm in recruitment. I'm really loving it. It's quite intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you did something in between, didn't you? Because you were in recruitment, and I remember you doing something else, and then you've gone back to recruitment. So that's obviously your passion by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Just like people, really.
Yeah. So you're still living in the area, or?
Yeah. I live just near Birmingham Airport, not far from the airport.
Oh, okay then. I hope you don't get disturbed by those planes.
No. It's quite nice because I look up at them and think, oh, lots of people going nice places. Where shall I go next?
I was going to say, so have you been away this year then?
No, I haven't, because I started my job just at the beginning of the summer.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
It's quite difficult to take time off. Just
10
days in Portugal. That's about it.
Oh, okay. Well, that was nice then, because you go there quite a lot, don't you? Because have you got somewhere over there or something like that?
Yeah.
So Portugal's really nice actually. We haven't been there for some time now, but it's a lovely part of the world. So
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, but you're looking really fit.
Thank you. Yeah. Keeping fit. So so I've managed to join a new gym, and I'm doing exercise in the morning before work. So I get up at 6:30 to do a class, and then go.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I know.
You are some busy lady.
I know. No.
So I suppose, is that your time for yourself then?
Oh yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I'm getting better, but yeah.
But I was saying, sorry, no, is the gym like your time for yourself?
Oh, this is my gym for myself.
Yeah.
No, the gym is more like it's really important to keep fit and well.
Oh, okay.
To keep healthy and well, because I'm getting older, so I want to be able to still do things. Yeah,
we're all getting older, Julia.
I know. Stop laughing, Sonia.
That's brilliant. Look, you look like you're, as I say, you're a bit of a busy lady at the moment. But do you fancy a coffee? It's one lunchtime or something like that. I don't know if you've got any time at lunchtime.
No, that'd be great. Yeah.
I don't even know if I've got your number. Can I just take it in my mobile and then okay. Yeah. So any particular day that's good for you?
Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Oh, okay then, right. Okie dokie. So if I give you a buzz, and I might be free this Wednesday actually. So yeah, I'll have a look in my diary, and if I'm free this Wednesday, I'll give you a text.
Yeah. What's it about, Caroline? Because I'll be like zooming around the place. So if we
I just thought it'd be good to catch up. That's all I want to do, is just have a catch up. You know, because I just haven't seen you for ages. But if you haven't got time, don't worry about it.
No, I have. It's just I'll be on a tight time schedule because of my lunch hour.
Okay, well, just let me know, and then it's just be a quick coffee then. That'd be brilliant.
That'd be nice. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, because at this stage, I'm not too sure whether Julia might even be open to looking to anything. Now, normally in a conversation like that, Julia would also be asking me stuff, but because we're in this situation, she's trying to answer my questions. So there would be a bit more of a two-way scenario. But also, let's imagine that I have stopped her in the street and she's a very busy lady. I don't really want to keep her too long. But can you see that I didn't even mention the business? I mean, I kind of touched on it when I spoke to Sonia, but I didn't even mention it. When she said to me, what's it about? I'm already guessing that this lady is so busy. She, you know, if I said, oh, I've got this amazing opportunity for you, that she might just go, I haven't got any time. I haven't got, do you know what I mean? So when I go for coffee with her, what I would be doing is I would really just be having a very gentle kind of fact-finding, forming conversation with her. Because what I'm looking to do is to keep that door open so that I can continue to walk through it and she's happy to meet me on the other side so we can continue the conversation. Okay? So you can see actually in both instances, I've not actually said what I do or what it's about. I'm just trying to have a conversation. So when I find out more information from Julia, so let's say I find that she really does want to travel. The recruitment job is really good, but it's long hours. But it doesn't really pay enough for her to do the traveling that she wants to do. And it's not something that she really wants to do until she's 65, 67. No, exactly. So you can see there that if I've been having that conversation with her, I've been touching a few buttons. And then in that coffee, I would then, and I may even contact her afterwards. So I would again think about whether I was going to say it in that coffee or afterwards. And the reason I might do it afterwards is because she's already gone, what do you want to meet for coffee for? So I don't want to then make her slam the door in my face, because if she thinks we're going for a coffee just so that I can talk to her about the business, she might slam the door in my face. So let's say I go for another fact find. And then what I might do, and what I have done, and it's a bit like if anybody's been on the Go Soaring, and Sharon talks about Colombo, it's almost that, but I will actually phone somebody and say, look, I've been thinking about our conversation for the last couple of days, and I was just thinking that it would be very remiss of me not to have a chat with you a bit more about what I do. I've got no idea if it's any interest to you whatsoever, but you know what? I just thought I'll just let you know what I do, and then you can make up your own mind. So again, in a very conversational way. So when somebody says to you, what do you do? That is a result of those little mini conversations that have led to somebody going, so what is it that you do? But by then you would have gained enough information to relate it to them. If you don't relate it to them, so let's say I go, I run this little aloe business. What does that mean? I sell aloe. And we don't do that, actually. One of the things that Tom Barrett says is he says we're in the coaching business. We are coaches. And some of you might be going, I thought I was selling aloe. Oh, no. But we're coaches. And what we're doing is we're listening out for people, trying to find out what we can do to help them move on to the next stage. So I'm hoping that those two conversations and what I've explained around them is helpful. But has anybody got any questions? Because it's just coming up for past, because I try and keep them. So if you want to unmute yourselves, and if we get a bit of feedback, we get a bit of feedback.
I had a question about maybe different kinds of situations. Like I recently, took a plane trip. And I know people have talked about like talking to people while you're just out and about or whatever. How do you handle those situations where, you know, you don't know that person and you're probably not going to see them again, but you kind of want to get that contact?
So if I was on an aeroplane, and this may sound really crass, so apologies if it does, and somebody says, what do? I go, you know what? I help people be on an aeroplane because they're going on holiday and not because they're going away on business. And they go, oh, really? So what's that all about? And you go, and that's the difficulty, is the next thing after that. But what, again, I would say is I would go, so let's say, going on holiday, right? Okay. So I know that sounds really silly, but I have to kind of work it through in my head when I'm saying it rather than just explaining it. And they go, "Oh, that sounds intriguing." You know, I go, "Oh, intriguing. Why intriguing?" Because I got to say something. And even if they just go, "Oh," you go, "Oh, why did you make that face?" So you see how you don't answer it because what you're trying to do is gain more information. Okay, so you can kind of play with this and don't. One of the things I would say is don't feel that you have to prospect everybody. What you can do is practice your prospecting skills with everybody and see what happens. But just kind of go, oh, I wonder where this conversation would go. So think of a variety of responses that you think may be appropriate, that you could just go, oh, that's the one I would use here. So in that instance, I would say something like that. I don't know if that helps at all.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think what I'm finding for myself is that I'm the type of person who doesn't really talk to people. Like I've always been more introverted and, you know, not that social. So this is kind of like, even I like what you're saying about just practicing that, like not putting that pressure on yourself, because it's something new for me to even have a conversation.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I get comfortable with that.
Yeah. Exactly. Again, for somebody who's introverted is just kind of, and it may be that you just go morning and see if anybody responds. Does that make sense? And smile.
Yeah.
There's a really good section on talking to people who are strangers in on Paula Pritchard's Recruiting Made Simple. If you get that CD, she does a whole section on forming, about being in the line for like the post office or the driving license office, and she actually says, you know, talk to people and say, hi, do you live around here? How long have you been waiting? How long will I have to wait? You know, and they say, do you live around here? And they say, oh, I live, you know, over by the lake. And you say, oh, that new housing development over there. And they say, no, actually in a caravan in front of it, but I'd love to live there. And you're going, okay. And you remember that. And then they say, oh, you know, what do you do for your holidays? They say, well, I like to go fishing. Yeah, there you go. And they say, I like to go fishing. And you say, oh, do you have a boat? Oh, no, I'd love to have a boat, kind of thing. Like remembering that, and then things like that. And then at the end of the conversation, you think, it's been great talking to you. I might be able to help you get a boat sometime. Can I take your number and we can talk another time?
So again, that's great. And one of the things I must do is I must download Paula and put it on my USB point.
It's really good. I've listened to it in the car. I've got to say, I've listened to another book recently, and it's called Get Over Your Damn Self, and it's amazing. It's
right.
Really
is it? I got a bunch of books recently. I got Dr. Barrett's book and Eric War's book. I haven't started them yet, but I saw that one, Get Over Your Damn Self. I thought, that's what I need to do.
really good.
You're no more, I am no more bored than anybody else. It's okay.
I love the fact that we're all pulling up things and showing them. Sonia's doing it as well, so that's great.
Can I just add to Michelle? What I do quite often is I just connect with people. So you take that pressure off. Now, if they are somebody that I think, God, I've got no way of connecting with them, I go for it. You know, if they're just going to disappear out my life, I'm going to go for it. So remember that guy at school that you wish you'd asked out and you never, ever did? And you think, what if? It's like that, isn't it? But worse. And so I kind of now I just say, you know what, I've really enjoyed having a chat with you. There's a couple of things that you said there that I think I might be able to help you with. And I'll wait till the minute before you leave. So before you get off that plane, or before, obviously right now it's a bit crazy. I'm just heading off out, but I would absolutely love to chat and connect with you again. Are you on Facebook? And if they say, no, I'm not on Facebook, okay, WhatsApp, you've got or mobile, I can drop you a text sometime. And then, you know, if they kind of be weirded out, so what? I've had people weirded out by me today. I don't care. There's other people that aren't weirded out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Go on. Somebody wanted to say something. Apologies.
And I can just connect with them as a friend as well. And I do that a lot. Because and you can do that. And again, some people find that a bit weird because there's not many nice people around compared to the grumpy ones so much anymore. So when you say to them, oh, I've had a really nice time chatting to you today, I think we've got quite a bit in common. I'd love to connect again at some point. Are you on Facebook? That is it. And if they say, no, I'm not, and just say, well, maybe I'll drop you a text or something sometime. We go for a coffee.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Again, it's all nice and relaxed and all chilled and all, but we're trying to remember to keep that door open. So I haven't answered the question is, what do I do? Because actually it's different for every person you speak to, because you're needing to actually just throw that line out and put it back in again and see if they nibble. Throw it out and see if they nibble. And that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to get a bit of a snifter on the fishing line. Okay. Now, just to let you know, on Tuesday night, I believe it's going to be at 8 o'clock because I've got to check my timetable. I've got to go somewhere, and I'm hoping I'm going to be back by 8 o'clock. If not, I might need to push it back to 8:30. But we've got an online BP, so please invite people. If for some reason I do need to push it back, I'll let you know. But I know Sonia is going to be. In fact, no, it can't be pushed back because Sonia.
You can see my face going. Oh.
Testimonial. Amazing what body language can do. So what I'll do, Sonia, if for some reason I'm going to be 5 minutes late, I'll get you to, because you've got access to the Zoom accounts.
Yeah.
Just open it all up, and then we're gonna. We need somebody to open it though. Julia was going to open it, and she can't anymore. I am going to ask Caroline Ashley if she can. Because she's going to do the product bit, but she does the opener and I do the middle, and then she does the end and finish, and you'll do the testimonial. I think that will work well, but it's actually setting up the system. So what I'll do is, hi little one, and she waves back. But we'll have a chat about that. So get people on. If you don't know the code, ask Sonia. If you don't know the code, ask me. If you don't know the code, go onto the Symphony group because you'll find it on there. It's a different code to this code that we've got tonight because I wanted to keep them separate. Don't know why, but I just did, just fancied it. But just keep inviting people, and it will potentially, what we'll do is we'll do more of these. And this came out because Piers, who's finding it difficult to get people to BPs because of his situation where he is geographically. But I haven't heard whether his guest is actually going to be here on Tuesday night. But you know what? I said to him, we'll do it and then we'll invite the rest of the team. So I think it's great that the rest of you might be able to bring some people in as well. So we can do these more on an ad hoc basis if it works well for you. But let's not forget that actually going to the face-to-face business presentation is the best. Julia and I were at last week. And we had the pleasure of seeing Diana Page and Paul Brown do the presentation. We did actually, I have to say, I skipped out during the product bit. That's because I have to get up really early on a Thursday. And I had seen Katie do the product bit quite a lot, actually. I don't normally do that. But it was actually a real education by going there. So I would always encourage you to go to a live BP. But what we're trying to do is to really just help you guys qualify for Stockholm, get your businesses really moving, get their momentum going. So just to remind you about that. Okay then. And Michelle, I know that 8 o'clock, I think it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We 6 hours difference, I think. Or is it 5?
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock.
Yeah. So it may be that you really haven't got anybody to listen at 3 o'clock and it's all going to be done in pounds. But if you do, you could just say there's one that's happening in the UK, and then you can just inform them, just let them know what the American, because basically it's just you kind of almost swap dollars for pounds. But
yeah, I also want to check out. It seems like Forever North America page does one weekly on Tuesdays as well.
Oh, okay, that's brilliant.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to check that out too
Yeah,
to see
that's good. Yeah.
what that's like.
Excellent.
But they do it Pacific time, so I think they do it at like noon Pacific time. So it might even end up happening at like the same time. I have to double check.
We find evenings are better for people. Obviously not any later than 8 o'clock, otherwise as some you can't get involved in doing a testimonial. But we find that that's a really good time for me. I don't really want to move it back to 8:30. It's just a question of whether we're going to be back from Oxford or not. So I just need to check that out. But anyway, it's about 22 now. So have a good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm going to download this, put this on the system. If anybody's got any questions about Tuesday night, then put them on the thread for the business presentation and we can answer them in relation to that. But have a good rest of the evening, everyone, and have a brilliant week. Okay?
Thank you.
Cheers.
Sonia,
Bye.
I'll send you a message. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.